guys, welcome back to my channel. Bienvenidos, I'm Natalie. Today's video is going to be a chatty get ready with me video. I just wanted to talk to you guys, make a more casual video. I really miss get ready with me videos, so if you guys like this one, let me know if you want to see them more frequently. Throughout the video, I answer some questions that you guys sent me, as well as a life update. So if you're ready for a chatty one, grab a drink and let's get started. Alright, so as always, I'm going to start off with a primer. A primer is basically the base, what it's going to keep your makeup in place, what it's going to make your makeup look nicer. And my favorite for a long time has been the PTRcult Skin to Die For No Filter Mattifying Primer and Complexion Perfector. So I've been talking about this for a long time, like over a year and a half now. And it's honestly, out of all my primers, my favorite one. It truly blurs any imperfection. It's one of those primers that you could wear on its own and it's going to blur, like, not your dark spots, but it's just going to make your skin look so much nicer, so much smoother, even if you're just going to be out and about with no makeup for a day. And aside from the fact that it covers all your pores, it also feels really nice and hydrating in a way. So it's not a mattifying primer, even though it says that it's mattifying. It is mattifying on the aspect that it's not going to make you look oily throughout the day. But even though I'm referring it to oily skin, since I do have combination skin, it's perfect for all skin types. So if you have dry skin, this is going to work for you as well. Moving on with a lip balm, I'm using this one from Vaseline. It's the Oil Therapy. I've been loving this lately. All right, so I asked you guys on Instagram to send me some questions and I'll be answering them throughout the video. But starting with foundation, I want to try out new makeup in this video, and I'm using Bobbi Brown's foundation, the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. I have it in 5.5 Warm Honey and 5.75 in Golden Honey. I think I might be this one if I'm not mistaken, but I am going to swatch. Give me a second. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's not really showing up on camera, but I think I might be 575. Funny story real quick. I went to see A Star is Born and I knew I was going to cry because everyone on Twitter kept saying like, oh my god, it's such a sad movie. Like, be ready to cry, bring your tissues. So I went to the bathroom and took toilet paper, and that's why I have toilet paper here, because I went to my room and I needed napkins and I was too lazy to go to the kitchen, even though it was the studio. Don't mind me, I'm that lazy, let's just put it that way. But the movie was actually really, really good. It was so well done. Bradley Cooper did a phenomenal job directing the movie and acting and singing. So did Lady Gaga. I was super amazed. Like, just, the movie was amazing. Didn't like the ending because why didn't nobody warn me before going there that, spoiler alert, skip like 10 seconds, that he was gonna die. Like, why did nobody alert me a month later after it's been out that he was gonna die? I wasn't ready, let's just put it that way. And then the way that he passed away was also like, just, it was too much. It was too much. All right, so this is actually my first time ever trying out this foundation. I feel like I have a long time without doing first impressions. If you guys want me to bring my first impressions on foundations back, let me know, because I do have some foundations that I've been wanting to try out. But I love this already because it's pretty lightweight, therefore it's not like extremely full coverage. And for some reason, I don't mean that in a bad way, like I mean it in a it's your skin but better kind of foundation, so it's not going to look caked on. I'm also using an Eloise brush. These are so flipping cute. Like, how adorable is this? I don't even know if it's a foundation brush, but I decided to use it as a foundation brush. I feel like on camera this is coming out way too light, but I promise you it's literally my shade. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but I'm going to add another layer, especially on my forehead, because I'm breaking out on my forehead. Maybe not the greatest idea to try any foundation at the moment, but I do that all the time, you know? All right, so let's start with some questions before I continue. There's a lot of my boyfriend questions, so I'll be answering those throughout the video. But first one is, how is adult life treating you? And I mean, this weekend I actually had my first ever apartment warming party situation. Had my family over, some friends. It was truly amazing. I feel like I had such a great time, and I hope everyone else did as well. I currently have a month in this apartment and I can't believe it. Like, I don't know, it feels surreal still. It feels that it's not real, or it's not truly my apartment. Like, it feels like I'm just here for vacation in a way, and not in the aspect that it doesn't feel like home. I don't know, it's truly amazing to me how I've been able to do this, and how it was one of my resolutions this year and I accomplished it. So I guess that's why it feels surreal, because it was kind of like a far away resolution that I felt that I wasn't gonna truly accomplish it this year, but I did. It does feel like home though, and as I decorate it more and more, it definitely feels more like home. So I'm loving it so far. I feel like adulthood, it's a lot harder than people put it. Like, there's so much responsibility that I knew I was going to have. It's not that I was super naive and clueless about all the responsibilities that come with moving alone and being an adult, but girl, it's a lot. I feel like what makes it harder is that I don't have a roommate. I am living alone, so I'm not living with my boyfriend, and I guess the responsibilities are times 10 for me right now. But I do feel that everyone can definitely get to this point in life and be okay, so don't be scared to make that step, because but what I do have to say about it is be very organized. That's my main tip when it comes to living alone and adulting. You have to be organized in all aspects of the word. Have an agenda if you need to, write it in your notes if you have to, like things like that. It's outside. You guys are probably thinking, Natalie, what are you doing to your brows? I am currently filling out my brows with the Milk Kush fiber brow thing. It looks crazy, I know, but I'm going to be cleaning it and making it a lot more thin. That's just how I've been doing it lately, and I like it. It is my first time like actually using this, because I've tried it out on my brows and I loved the consistency, but I took it off right away and I didn't have like a full face. But today I wanted to try it out. To clean my brows, I'm using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Warm Sand. All right, just give me a second because I do need to concentrate on this part. I low-key don't like how I've been doing my brows lately, but this is as good as it's gonna get. Moving on with concealer under my eyes to highlight. I'm using the Bobbi Brown Concealer in Honey. It's also my first time trying it out. Don't know how I feel about the consistency. First things first. I feel like it doesn't get any product in the actual wand, and it kind of just drags. To blend, I'm using another Eloise brush. I feel like this one was going to be perfect for this, so hopefully it works. Usually I use a sponge, but dang, this is perfect. Okay, the concealer isn't as bad as I thought. All right, next question. When are we getting an apartment update? I will be making an apartment tour as soon as I finish like furnishing my apartment. The thing is, I'm waiting for a few things. It's coming sooner than later. Like, I'm definitely going to be uploading that video in November, probably mid-November, so just stay tuned. What other place than New York would you want to live? To be honest with you, I mean, I see myself staying in the East Coast, but if I want to live in New York, like dream place to live would be London. I fell in love with London the first time I went, and I feel like it's a much calmer, nicer New York in a way. Like, people are nicer, it's calm, sophisticated. I don't know, I really love London, and it reminded me a lot of New York. But other than New York, it would be somewhere in the East Coast or London for sure. I mean, realistically speaking though, about London, I don't think that would happen since I don't have family there, and I don't know if I would leave my family. Is it difficult to have a boyfriend that doesn't speak Spanish, or does he? So that's a good question. I personally feel that it's not difficult having a boyfriend that doesn't speak your language, your native language. But there are obviously certain things that I can't like say to him or use, or like jokes maybe, especially jokes. Like, if there's something in my mind that I just wanna blur out and say, because I do speak Spanglish a lot in my normal life, like with friends. I constantly switch back and forth in Spanish or English with my friends, but I feel like with him I can't technically do that because it just doesn't make sense, you know? So my boyfriend speaks a little bit of Spanish. I mean, he understands it more than he speaks. He understands a little bit of Spanish because he did studied abroad. I mean, when he met my grandparents, he spoke to them in Spanish and stuff, but it's not like fluent, and the way that us Dominicans speak, it's really hard to keep up because we do speak really, really fast. We cut words a lot. So he constantly says that it's like really hard for him to understand it. Guys, this light, by the way, it's not doing me any justice, but I promise it's looking a little bit decent in person. But to answer the question, I feel like it's not difficult having someone that doesn't speak your language. It's just harder to communicate certain things that maybe sometimes, like for example, for me, Spanish is my first language, so there's certain words that I automatically know in Spanish rather than English, and I can't just blur those words out because he won't understand them. To be honest though, I do feel bad sometimes because especially in family gatherings, or like for example my housewarming, apartment warming party, there was a lot of Spanish going on and he didn't understand for the most part. But my family does make him feel really welcome, or at least they try to incorporate more English and maybe like translate certain things whenever we speak. So I do appreciate that. Quick update on the products that I'm using. To bake or set my foundation and concealer, I use the translucent powder from Laura Mercier, and to contour, I use the Bobbi Brown bronzing powder in Elvis Duran. That's what it looks like. It's a really nice, low-key intense bronzer. Again, it looks a lot better in person. Don't worry. Before I continue with the questions, for my eyes, I'm going to be using these two palettes. This one is the Smashbox Punked Photo Eyeshadow Quad, and then this is the Pretty Vulgar palette. Looks like this. I am going to be wearing a gray dress, sweater dress, so I'm planning on incorporating a lot of grays, and this one has pretty grays in there. This is actually not a quad, it's a trio, but it has a silver, like a gray, and black. What programs do you recommend for editing videos? So I use, till this day, iMovie. I started on iMovie, I'm still on iMovie. I personally like iMovie. I've tried Final Cut Pro, but it's a little hard for me, and once I'm comfortable with something, it's really hard for me to like move on. And I mean, it's not that I don't like challenging myself, but if I know how to work iMovie so well, why would I stress myself for months and months and months to perfect Final Cut Pro, you know? Maybe it doesn't make sense, but it does in my head. I personally recommend iMovie, especially if you're starting, especially if you don't know if YouTube's going to be your thing, because I mean, to be completely honest with you, YouTube can be a hit or miss for people. So don't invest $300 on on Final Cut Pro if you can just get iMovie for free. What I do feel people should invest on if you don't have one is a MacBook or iMac, because personally it's a lot easier to edit on that. There are other editing softwares that you could use on Windows, I think, but I think iMovie is just better. How is the living by yourself experience? Is it anything like you've imagined? So, living by myself, I feel like I never really imagined it to be any different. I did know that I was going to have more independence, more like free time, more me time, but I didn't really picture it to be a specific way. I do love how it is though. Out of everything though, I personally love the most decorating my own way, because I have a really particular way of doing things. When I have a theme, I like to follow it. So I personally love white, as you can see. Gray was never my thing, but listen, the couch situation back there, for example, that's a gray couch. It was something I had to settle on because I actually ordered it and I thought it was going to be a beige couch or cream couch. No girl, it came and it was gray. I was low-key disappointed. My boyfriend built it for me, and as he's building it, I'm like, oh my god, I hate it, I'm going to return it. And he's like, listen, just give it a shot, just give it a try and see if you like it. So yeah, I didn't like the color. I also didn't like the fact that it wasn't fluffy or cushiony, if that makes any sense. It's a really stiff couch, but for the price, it was great. I don't know how I got into the couch situation, but it was definitely on the decorating aspects. I love white and gold together. My mom, for example, likes to decorate her own way, which is really not old school, but very Dominican. She likes mixing colors. To put it this way, she likes color and she likes pattern, and I personally like more a simple look. So that was always kind of like an issue. I did decorate my room my way, but I could never decorate the living room how I truly want it. So that's one of my favorite things, I have to say. Someone also asked me some pros and cons about living alone. Pros, again, it's having your own space, decorating your own way. Cons have to be sleeping alone every night, because especially for me, since I don't have like a divider of a room, like my room is just everything, like it's a studio obviously, so it's not like I could go to my room at night to go to sleep and it be my little shell, and if anything sounds creepy outside, I could just hide in my room. I now have to like just be out there with everything else. The con to me has to be that it's a little scary to sleep alone. Also, cooking and feeding myself, realistically speaking, has been hard, because before my mom used to be the one to do the cooking, like all of the cooking. My mom would make breakfast, she would make dinner, lunch. She would just be the one to always cook. I personally was hard-headed about it, but now I have to cook for myself, which is pretty funny because I didn't do none of that at home. Next question. Someone said, ¿Y el novio cómo está? Bien, gracias. So like I mentioned, I got a few questions about my boyfriend, especially on the fact that our cultures are different. So one of them was, how does it feel dating someone who's not in your same culture as you? And then someone else asked, how is it meeting your boyfriend's family due to the cultural differences? I'm on the same boat. I actually answered this question on my Q&A, like my last Q&A, which I'll list down below for you guys. But personally, I mean, the culture difference, yes, it's an obvious thing, but it's not an issue or an obstacle in our relationship, to me at least. There are obviously certain things that are different because our cultures are different, but personally, we're both different individuals. There are certain differences though that you do have to adjust, like for example, cooking wise or seasoning, or just different traditions that I may have that maybe he doesn't, or vice versa. It's just adjusting and being okay that someone else is different, because to be completely honest with you, I could be dating a Dominican and we could totally be different in all aspects of the word. So to me, us being from different cultures is not an obstacle. I personally like it because it's challenging. It teaches me a lot about somebody else. I do want to bring this up though, because I feel that whenever you date outside of your culture, people only see that in the individual. So it's like some people will be like, how's your white boyfriend? How is it dating a white guy? It's not that we date each other because of our culture. Like, he doesn't date me because I'm Hispanic and I don't date him because he's white. To me though, I do have to say that it's a little bit disrespectful or just sad in a way, because it's all people see, and there's just so much more to a person than just who they are from the outside and how they look. You don't date someone because of how they look, and if you do, it's gonna go down the drain from there, and that's not going to be a healthy relationship, to be honest. The reason why I feel it's disrespectful, by the way, it's because I personally would feel some type of way if somebody refers to me as his Hispanic girlfriend, if you know what I mean. Like, how's your Hispanic girlfriend? It's not like, how is your girlfriend doing? And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's something that I'm totally okay being asked, because it is different and it is curious to know, like, how is it dating outside of your culture? But there's just certain ways that you can ask certain questions and not it being just race in a way. I don't know how to explain, I don't know how to put that into words. I don't mind being asked about the culture differences though, and personally, there's not that many. There's certain things, like for example, I have shown it on IG stories how he doesn't wash his meat, and that's like so shocking for me. I did get a lot of DMs from people that are from all sorts of cultures, and they're like, that's actually the proper way of doing it, but I was raised washing my meat because, you know. Now on to the question about me meeting his family. I'm not gonna lie, that was the first thing in the back of my mind, like, what would they say? Do they know that I'm Hispanic and not white? Again, I feel like I don't know how to put this into words, but I do have to say that when I met them, like the first second, I felt really welcomed, and it made me just be myself in front of them and not act or put a front to be someone that I'm not. So I was able to be myself from the second, and I loved it. I do have to say though, I feel really blessed because I know that not every family is as welcoming as my experience. And it doesn't even matter what race you date, because you could be dating inside of your race and the mom or family may not like you. And that's an issue. Like, I feel like that definitely affects any relationship. So to answer your question though, just be yourself in front of them. Be welcoming and loving as well. I personally feel that you receive what you give. So if you give them love and respect, they'll give you the same back. Just go in with an open mind and open heart, and I'm sure they'll accept you how you are. I'm gonna finish this eye real quick because I feel like I've been trying to do my eyeliner for the past 30 minutes. All right, 30 minutes later, we're done with the eyeliner. Moving on with mascara, I'm using the new CoverGirl mascara, which is the Lash Blast Active Mascara. The original Lash Blast, the orange one, was my first mascara ever, and I was so obsessed for many years. So I'm happy they maybe just revamped this one. I tried it for the first time last week, and it's a really good one. It's like a separating mascara, but gives you volume at the same time. I'm also going to use the Climax from NARS, which this one, it's a really volumizing one. For my inner corner, I'm going back to the Pretty Vulgar palette and using Pillow Fight up here. Moving on, I'm just gonna answer a few more questions. Something is itching me here, so if it's red, that's why. Someone asked, can you tell us what places you shop for your apartment furniture and how expensive shipping, I think she was going to write. But places that I've shopped for are mostly Amazon, to be honest with you. For example, the coffee table is from Amazon. This is from Amazon. I also shopped at IKEA a lot. And Wayfair. I really have been liking Wayfair. I thought Wayfair was more of an expensive site, but it turned out that they have really affordable things. Like my bed was, I think less than 150 for sure, like my bed frame. And it's such an amazing quality bed frame, so I love. Oh, and Target, I got my computer desk from there. I also have gotten a lot of things from Bed Bath & Beyond, especially for the kitchen and bathroom. And my rug is from Bed Bath & Beyond, which I recently got. I'm going to show you guys in a totally separate video, but I'm really excited to finish the apartment. So overall, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, IKEA, Wayfair, and Amazon have been my go-to places for just house things. For lashes, I'm using Lily lashes today in Goddess. Oh my gosh. So I'm trying the Bobbi Brown highlighter for the first time. This is Moon Glow. Are you kidding me right now? What? Guys, I found my favorite highlight. Am I doing Vlogmas this year? I really want to do Vlogmas because I personally like doing Vlogmas for memory purposes. Like, it's so nice to go back and just look back at the memories with your loved ones in the best month, you know, December, my birthday, Christmas, New Year's, all that. But I don't know if I'll be doing Vlogmas because I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, but my boyfriend is really private. Like, it's not that he doesn't like YouTube. He has mentioned to me that he's willing to do a video with me, which I kind of want to do a boyfriend tag, but I don't know, like I'm scared, low-key, but he's totally down for it. It's not that he's against YouTube, but he's a really private person and I spend a lot of time with him. So for Vlogmas, I feel like I'm gonna have to feature him a lot, and I don't know if he's down for that. So yeah, if I could find a balance, I'll definitely do, but I don't know yet. I don't know yet. It'll be so sad though, because I've been doing Vlogmas for like 3 to 4 years now straight. By the way, for blush, I use Flower Beauty in Sweet Pea, which is a matte mauve color. I'm obsessed. It's a drugstore. Before I finish the question part, somebody asked me, dressy work pants for tall girls. I'm 5'8", and it's always a challenge. I can totally relate. My friend Jill works for a bank, so she always has to be dressed up super dressy, and she's a lot taller than me. She gets her dressy pants from New York & Company. I personally have never shopped there, but you guys could check that out. I also really recommend Express with their long pants because they are really, really long and sometimes extra long. To finish off with lips, I'm using Urban Decay Nighthawk lip liner. You guys already know I love my Urban Decay's lip liners. And then for lipstick and lip gloss, I'm using Revlon today. I have 2 different colors here. I just don't know which one will look better. Let me quickly line my lips first. And then for lipstick, I'm using Revlon Dare to Be Nude. Let's see. Oh, this is like more of a pinky shade. I guess it would work with my gray dress. Lip gloss, I've been obsessed with this lip gloss. I don't know how I could possibly forget to mention this in my monthly favorites, but I love this just as much as the Ardell lip gloss that I mentioned. That one is also great. I was so shocked and impressed with this consistency. It's bomb, and it actually, again, lasts in my lips a lot. It's really glossy. It's really like lightweight. It's not sticky at all. It's just perfect. It's kind of like oily in a way. This one, compared to the Ardell, it's less pigmented, but I love it. And last but not least, just setting it all with my Urban Decay setting spray. Alright guys, so here is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this get ready with me video with some questions and answers, some life updates. Thank you so much for sending me the questions via Instagram. Make sure to follow me if you aren't already. I'll be listing some videos down below for you guys to check out. Let me know if you want to see more get ready with me's like these, very chatty, and I'll be making more for you guys. Subscribe and see you next time. Bye! Okay, no. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay. Family does make him feel really welcome. What was that? My favorite. Wow, this is so gorgeous. Something that shocked me though. Moving on. Vlogmas this year.